What do you do when a police officer pulls you over? What's the difference between lying to a police officer and invoking your constitutional rights? Hello everyone, I'm attorney Robert Flessis, and welcome to my YouTube channel where I provide you with valuable tips on the law. Today I'm going to talk about being pulled over by a police officer and what you should always do when confronted with that situation, or any situation where the police are questioning you. Let's take this scenario that you've had a few drinks and you're driving home. This situation happens to many people every day. Let's say that you're driving down the road one night and lo and behold, in your rearview mirror, you see bright police lights flashing directly behind you. If the officer continues to follow you, that's a good sign that the officer is telling you to pull over to the side of the road. Well, you pull over. The officer then gets out of his squad car, walks up to your driver's side window, and will ask you, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" At this point, you want to be on your best behavior and show utmost respect to the police officer. The best answer is, "No, I don't, officer." That's an honest answer. Next, the officer will ask, "Have you been drinking?" At this point, the officer is waiting for you to answer yes. The honest answer is, "Why do you ask, officer?" The officer will respond, "Because you smell like alcohol." Don't confirm the police officer's statement by answering in the affirmative under any circumstances. You don't answer incriminating questions at this point, nor throughout the course of the entire questioning. Now wait for the officer's next statement. Typically, the officer will ask you for your driver's license to identify yourself, your vehicle registration, and proof of insurance, and you provide that information. Make sure you always have that ready to go before the officer approaches your vehicle, or have those documents previously placed in a convenient and accessible area of your car so you're not fumbling around trying to find them. To make a long story short, the officer will go back to the squad car, check out to see who you are and if you have any warrants, a valid driver's license, who owns the car, and if you have any prior drunk driving arrests. Next, the officer will return, ask you to step out of the vehicle. Most likely, they will ask you again if you've been drinking. Don't answer the question. Sobriety testing will commence, a preliminary breath test will follow, and finally, an arrest. Here's the point. Everyone has probably watched police shows on TV where they read you your rights, and those are referred to as Miranda warnings. You know the statement, just like you know the Pledge of Allegiance. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney, and so on and so forth. Why is the officer telling you that? It's because the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution states as follows: "No person shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law." The Constitution was written to protect you from the government. The police officer that pulled you over and detained you works for the government. Anything you say to a police officer from the initial contact until you're released from custody will be written down by the officer and handed off to the prosecuting attorney, and it's going to be used to build a case against you to convict you of a crime. Many people, when asked by their lawyer, "Why did you answer the officer's questions?" will respond, "I wanted to be honest." Really? There's a big difference between being honest and invoking your constitutional rights. By invoking your constitutional right to not answer questions that could incriminate you, you're taking advantage of the rights afforded to you as a citizen of this country. Let's read that again. No person shall be compelled to be a witness against himself. By respectfully telling the officer that you choose to not answer the questions, you are now protecting yourself, using the Constitution to not be a witness against yourself. Just like you must comply with reasonable police orders, for example, please exit the vehicle and stand over there, the police must comply with the Constitution. They can't force you by any means to answer questions that will incriminate you. Many people in this situation tell the officer that they've been drinking, they reveal how many drinks they had, along with specific details of when they started and stopped drinking, and so many more revelations. That's not going to help you. You're handing the police officer incriminating information on a silver platter. Once you start answering the officer's questions, then you're putting yourself in a position of lying. If you don't answer, you can't lie because you're relying on your constitutional rights. There's certainly more to discuss here, but I'll leave it right there. I'm attorney Robert Flesses. Consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, and thanks for watching.